Back here, Totem Pole Nation. We are live on a Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everybody. We had some big time sports last night. Huge victory on the road by the Philadelphia 76ers. Go up 3-2 now on the Celtics. The Denver Nuggets pushed past the Phoenix Suns as well to go up 3-2. So it's it's a dogfight in these conference championships. It's going to be interesting tonight to see if the Lake Show can put Steph Curry and the guys into the offseason. What do you think about that, Coach? I know Steph Curry's a guy you've been following, and you got to be following this LeBron James and Steph Curry battle.
LeBron James, by far. Now, Steph is a good guy, a good role model. He can handle the ball and he can shoot, but I'm going with LeBron here. You know, Golden State Warriors won it all last year, and I'm going with the Lakers. They made a lot of great moves there before the trade deadline, to kind of fix that team. And, but I think it's going to be Embiid versus the Joker in the finals. Denver versus the 76ers.
Okay, gotcha. That's the thing with with a lot of sports, it's who gets hot at the end. You see it in every playoffs. It's those teams that just barely squeak in that kind of get hot. I think you're seeing that with the Miami Heat, and you're definitely seeing it with the Lakers and everything. But yeah, that'd be great, man, to see a battle of the two premier big men. It's been a very, very long time since one of the top centers played, for a championship in the NBA. So it'd be great to see pretty much your two top guys at that center position, the big man getting, on the big screen.
Yeah, man. So the UFC, you were mentioning before we came on air, there's Nate Diaz. Who is he fighting?
No, this is actually boxing. This is for, I guess it's Drazen, but Nate Diaz is going to be fighting one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be boxing. But, yeah, it was pretty comical. They had a press conference yesterday, and I guess somebody that works, under the Paul brothers had kind of asked Nate Diaz like a question and then threw like a backhanded remark in there. And it was pretty comical. He just kind of said, well, you're over here talking smack, and my boys are right over there. We see you, right? And it was pretty funny story.
Yeah. So did he walk off from the press conference?
No, they just kind of kept going. And the guy, when he first started talking, had all this good energy. And then at the end, he was just sitting there shaking that microphone like, I can't believe I just said that to this guy. And yeah, man, those Diaz brothers, they're the truth. And that's what he said. He's like, I'm trying to get on the undercard. And, if he's anything like you are, he wanted to fight Nate Diaz's brother, Nick. He was like, yeah, if he's anything like you, he'll be a punk or something like that. And yeah, it just
Wow.
didn't sit well. And he's like, dude, you just come off the street talking like that to me, So
Man.
yeah, man, it was good stuff. And yeah, man, those Diaz boys, they're legit. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm looking here. Atlanta Braves beat the Boston Red Sox 9-3.
Wow.
They're already playing interleague play. I guess it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, the Braves are playing good ball. They're kind of being overshadowed. The Tampa Bay Rays are playing such good ball, but they took a loss yesterday up in Camden Yards there in Baltimore. So, yep, we're definitely keeping an eyeball on those guys. But with playoffs going on, it's definitely kind of at the forefront. You also had the Carolina Hurricanes. They had a big victory over the New Jersey Devils to go up, I believe, 3-1 there in that series. So that's a pretty big deal. The Stars won yesterday. Dallas Stars won 6-3 over the Kraken there in NHL action here in the postseason. So yeah, it's heating up. It's getting down to the final couple teams. You got the Golden Knights playing the Oilers tonight at 10 o'clock. So going to be some good stuff. But yeah, that was good to see. I was glad to see that the Joker did not get, any kind of suspension or anything over that. I thought that was just kind of, something happened quickly out of bounds. You want to get, if you're a baller and you're feeling good, you want to keep that ball rolling and everything. And, for him to just, have that little bump or whatever you want to call it, to me, it looked like the other guy kind of flopped big time to make it look even worse. But it's good to see him get to play, and he was very effective last night for sure.
Yeah, I ran into an old friend of ours who said he would come on Totem Pole Nation and tell some stories. That's Patrick Gorman. And he was telling one particular story when I think he said we were seniors in high school. He said it was me and a guy named Doug. Doug, if you're out there somewhere, all right, get up with us. It was Doug and it was Patrick Gorman. And it was Coach Bald, supposedly was in the Bronco too. And I don't remember Coach Bald being there, but Doug needed a ride over a girl's house. So we drove up to the girl's house, and in the front yard, in the driveway, stands the girl's dad. So I roll the window down and I go, "Hey!" And the guy goes, "Hey!" And I said, "I'm looking for my friend Doug." Huh? What? Yeah, he said he was over here. And Doug is in his seat and he starts to go. The dad goes, "Doug? What Doug? I don't know no Doug." Yeah, there's Doug, little short guy, got a gap in his teeth. He said he was going to be over here. He's supposed to be coming to see your daughter. He's like, "What? Huh?" And we just drove off. Can you believe that I did that?
Doug Charles. Yeah, I can believe you did that. Are we talking about that Doug, or are we talking about
We're talking about Doug Charles.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't believe I was in the car either.
Were you there for that story where I was messing with Doug and I was messing with the guy at the house whose daughter wanted to see Doug?
I'm not surprised, but dude, does it strike a memory that I can vaguely remember? Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not.
You don't
We did
remember
a lot
that?
of dumb things.
You were in the car, and then my brother was in the car, and Doug was in the car, and he was in the car. And I was like,
Wow.
dude, Bronco 2s were small.
Yeah, we had to be
It wasn't all those people in the
sardines.
car. But that's the story where the dog was running down the road. I'm driving my Bronco 2, and here comes a dog. And he's running. It's probably like a German Shepherd or a Labrador or something. Not German Shepherd, like a Doberman. He's running.
Okay.
And he sees the truck. All of a sudden, he starts veering off right towards the Bronco 2. So now the Bronco 2 is going straight, and the dog has decided he's just going to make a beeline to go head-to-head with the truck.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, I hear this guy going, "No! Stop! Stop!" He's got a leash in his hand. All right, he's running behind the dog. He's got a leash in his hand. The dog has gotten off the leash. All of a sudden, the dog decides he wants to go head-to-head. All right. So he's running. He decides he's going to lower his shoulder into the Bronco 2. And Patrick says all he remembers is like, a speed bump when they had two of them? Boom, 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 boom. And the dog, and he just ran off. But the dude's face was like, "No!" And he was like holding onto the leash. All right, the moral of that story is the life lesson. All right, I was just going straight on the road. I slowed down. The dog wanted to go head-to-head, some helmet-to-helmet contact with the Bronco 2. And that was all in the same day that I went over there to that girl's house where Doug needed to get dropped off, and her dad was there. Would you like to bring up any stories or life lessons from the past? Does that trigger anything?
You know, that's just. Thank God the dog's okay, right? Did the dog hit the vehicle
Yes.
and it
Yeah.
just kept on
That's
going
true. They
afterwards?
both tires ran over the dog, but he was still alive and he
My
ran off.
gosh.
But I don't think that's true. Um, what is about
Yeah,
the story where the guy wrecked his car that you claim you remember, but I claim I don't?
wrecked his
Scott
car.
Williams.
Oh yeah, that was a great one right there. We went to a game over at Meadowbrook High School, and it was after a basketball game. It's basketball season, and then we headed back to to my neighborhood, which was right behind the library there in Chesterfield. And you did stupid things when you were that age, and but what he ended up doing is he ended up kind of pulling over, onto the grass there, and he just started gunning it. And I think he had like a Grand Caprice. I mean, it was a huge car.
It was
I
a
mean,
hoopty.
it was a hoopty without a doubt. I mean,
It was a baller, shot
you
caller.
could fit three offensive linemen in the back, and they'd be pretty spaced out, you know. And I believe there was five of us in the vehicle. It was, I believe, me and Scott up front. He was driving. You, your brother, and our amazing running back, Robert Clark, in the back. And so we kind of veer off, just into the grass, and he just starts like gassing it. And, we start kind of fishtailing. And the next thing you know, man, we hit that median kind of there, that big pipe, that big round pipe in the middle. We hit that thing, and the vehicle stopped, and we all freaked out. We all jumped out, and we grabbed that big car, and we just, adrenaline was going crazy, and we just pulled that thing right out of there. We got back in the vehicle, and we went over to my place. And I remember, Scott was freaking out. He's like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? And at the time, man, his pops was, I believe he worked as a agent, for like food, beverage, or alcohol, or firearms, or something. I know he would. We didn't want to be on his bad side. I know that, and I know Scott made that phone call. His mom answered the phone, and he was like, "Mom, I got some terrible news." She was like, "Son, what happened?" It's like, we went to the basketball game, and when we were coming back, a deer ran out in front of us, and we smashed the deer with the car. And I remember you and Robert Clark were laughing so hard, but it was like a giggle. And
Yeah.
I remember I had to push you guys in a small closet and shut the door because y'all were just like, I mean, it was crazy, y'all's giggle. And then he had said that, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. I mean, like, Chesterfield County, there's some deers out in the sticks, but we were certainly not out in the sticks. And yeah, man, we kind of went with that story, and it was. I'm just so grateful that his dad didn't answer the phone and come over there and just horse whip all of us. But yeah, man, that was a huge lesson learned. Don't mess around and find out. They got that saying now: "F around and find out." Boy, did we sure did, and man, we we didn't do that kind of stuff anymore after that, man. But it was
We
it
did.
was it was pretty amazing. I tell you what, though, that wasn't the first time that we moved cars, because we went out to some parties in Varana before, and it was tight squeezing. And yeah, man, we just scoop up some cars like the Colt. My buddy, there's a
Jim
coach.
Kiefer.
There's a Coach K there that used to have a Colt that he would somehow get all these huge individuals piled in there. Speaking of huge, amazing individuals, Coach Hutchins, what's happening?
What's up, Coach Bald? How's it going? What's up, Coach
Great
Taylor?
to see you. Great to see you, my brother. What's going on with you, man?
Not too much. I was laughing at that I was born in the F around century, and now we're in the find out century.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Without a doubt.
Yeah. It's funny, they cut down a bunch of trees by the school, and now the deer are running wild out there.
Oh.
There's no trees, dude. Past O.B. Gates Elementary all the way to Route 10. Remember how they used to have all those trees if you're going from Route 10 towards my fault, when you're going Courthouse Road towards Route 10, and then the courthouse is on the left, and then there was Spencer's on the right.
Yeah.
Everything is gone.
Wow. That was the thing too, when you said that right there at the field, that they didn't have that hill anymore. That was mind blowing to me because, as a little guy, that's what you did. You went to the bird football games, and if you're a little guy, man, you were throwing that football around and you're just tackling each other and having the best time. And every once in a while, you just kind of run up that hill. But that was always good just for training and stuff like that. Because here in Florida, man, we got no hills. We don't have any hills in Florida. Like, you really got to search.
What hill you're talking about?
There was one right behind the state, right behind the home team. There was a good sized hill right there, man.
Oh, it's like closest to the scoreboard where kids used to play football. Or did they used to play football on the side closest to the field house?
Yeah, closest to the field house.
Yeah, I guess
we maybe got a 5-foot hill now. I wish we had some.
Man, it was pretty steep back then, and that was always a good workout. Here you don't have that, but you do get the sand, so you get some workouts in the sand, man. That'll definitely put some grit on you.
Run some sprints with some combat boots.
Shit,
I had a coach. He always wanted to take the kids to Buckrow Beach and run some sprints.
So we went for the All-Star game. They were like, "Yeah, we're going to Busch Gardens." Scratch that. We're going to Buckrow Beach.
That's right. Buckrow Beach, baby. Something in the Water Festival. That's right. I'm getting hyped up now because we're talking about Virginia. Yeah. That's right. Just like Kanye loves Chi-Town, we love Virginia. Something in the water for Pharrell Williams. They canceled the last day because of tornadoes. Coach Hutch, I could see you being a guy that would go to something in the water and have a great time.
Yeah, there's a few. Definitely would want to see Wu-Tang. They're going to be there. I've already seen Third Eye Blind. I've already seen the Kid Leroy. I've already seen Skrillex. Mumford & Sons, no thank you. Machine Gun Kelly would be good. Lil Yachty, Lil Wayne, Lil Uzi Vert, Kid Cudi. There's actually quite a few that are going to be there, but it's too expensive. Just not my thing to go to. If I'm going to spend a lot of money to go to a festival, I'm not doing it here in Virginia.
Yeah. I like Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, he comes to Virginia every year.
He does. He is not coming this year. This would have been the third year in a row that me and my girlfriend Nina would have gone to see Dave Matthews Band. And this year, you can look at the track list, but I was calling out songs that they were going to play. It was like, I don't know, it was like I had the Midas touch. My favorite Dave Matthews song is Two Step. How about you two? Do y'all have a favorite Dave Matthews song? Are you not fans of Dave Matthews? You got to respect the guy who started off playing the Flood Zone, playing Have a Nice Day Cafe. What is Have a Nice Day Cafe today? Is it apartments, Coach?
It is. I think it's apartments now.
Wow.
Literally the worst club in the city of Richmond was Have a Nice Day Cafe.
Coach Bald would probably disagree with that because Coach Bald who I tried to tell people basically was like a professional wrestler. The guy branded himself as Big Daddy Cool. My own girlfriend said he would have been like a Ric Flair in high school. And I said, that's exactly what he was. I said, he was more like a Ric Flair, Razor Ramon, and Rick Rude and Deion Sanders all together with, and dude,
It's a good
you had the
combination.
original mullet. All right. It was not a mohawk. You actually invented the mullet. Do you have a picture, Coach Bald?
It was a mullet hawk, and maybe for tomorrow's episode that'll be our image to get this.
We
thing
have
going.
documentation. You
We have
had a mullet
documentation.
before Joe Dirt.
It was a mullet hawk. Like I thought I had like the spiky thing going in the front, you know what I mean? And then I had the sides of it shaved, which I saw one of the guys from Metallica, the new bassist back in the day. But he had his hair where when he would ponytail it up, you'd see nothing on the sides,
You
you know,
did.
but he had his super long. And I don't know, for our football picture day, I guess I'd just taken my helmet off. So, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's a
Is this your
picture only a mother could love.
football picture at LC Bird?
Say that
That's the
again.
picture you're going to break out.
That's probably the one.
That's probably the one. That was when you almost fell out the back of a truck. Coach Hutch, when you were a
Couple
kid,
times.
did you ever ride in the back of a truck?
I did.
I
never
find that
fell
very
out-
hard to believe a guy that went to Clover Hill rode in
Yeah.
the back of a
I
truck.
never fell out of the back of a truck. I had a friend that did and cracked his head.
We
wide
had a
open.
coach,
Coach Shortridge.
Shortridge, who left coaching and teaching to clean pools for a living. All right. So that's a heck of a step up there. All right.
Yeah.
And they're still around. Clearwater Pools. I think they're on Route 10. They're on Courthouse Road over near Big Lots and Hull Street. And the one and only Shoney's still in America. The best breakfast buffet of all time.
It reminds me of the movie Airheads with Adam Sandler.
Hey, I need to see it. I need to see it. Adam Sandler, you were the best. Remember, we had his cassette tape, Coach Bald.
They're all going to laugh at you.
Patrick Gorman said, who? I said, Coach Bald. I referred to you as Coach Bald. And he said, who? He actually watches this.
That's awesome. That's my guy, man. Yeah, I'm glad to see him, doing things with Salem Church, man. That's great. You know what I mean?
What is your favorite song?
He's got all that football knowledge. Why not help give it back, and especially to the youth, man? I think he helps out with the Pee Wee
Yes,
level.
he does.
That's so awesome, man.
That's
Those
honorable.
kids, it is, man. That's one of the greatest jobs in the world.
What's your favorite song off of the first Adam Sandler?
I gotta go with the whole Talking Goat skit and everything that has to do with the Talking Goat.
I don't remember that. Do you have that off the dome that you can just,
Nah, I don't.
How about this one?
Talking Goat, it's phenomenal.
Slop at Joe.
The one I can't say on Totem Pole Nation, but is Play With Your Blink and Blink.
Yeah,
old lady.
Yeah, it's the Rod Crew song.
Car.
The Rod Crew song will go down in infamy. Okay,
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, you were the greatest.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
But Chris Farley, who would you rather I hung out with, Chris Farley or Adam Sandler, Coach Hutch?
Got to be Chris Farley. Just a wild man. Adam Sandler, I watched his show that they had where he got the Mark Twain Award, and everybody said how nice he is and how he takes care of everybody. And that's definitely, amicable quality. But at the same time, Chris Farley, life taken too short. Guy was a wild man and always funny. He's got some documentaries out there too, where his entire life was just making people laugh.
Coach Bald.
I'll say this, man. I had my own Chris Farley, and his name was Ty Haynes.
He was funny.
What a great guy. And this dude, Coach Hutchins, I'm talking about you'd never seen a guy slam a beer faster than this guy, man. This guy, he had some legendary, something was missing there, and it would just go straight down with force. I mean, he would have people, pour half cups of water, and he'd have a full cup of beer, and he would down it before they even took a sip of it, man. It was legendary. Super funny guy. Hopefully, we're not getting him in trouble talking about this.
We were all legal adults when we were drinking beer.
Statute of limitations.
Yes, indeed.
How many keg stands have you done in your life, Coach Hutch, that you can remember?
No idea. The last one we did was actually at a friend's wedding. And we had his uncle from Ireland came to the United States, had never done a keg stand. So I have a video of I'm holding up his leg, and I've got my phone in the right hand. I got his leg in the left hand. Another buddy's got his leg. He's drinking a keg stand. I'm talking, we're at 45 seconds, and we're like, what's he doing? Is he going to stop? He gets up, and his first words were, I didn't know I was supposed to stop drinking. Was going the whole time.
Hey, he's Irish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you offended, Coach Bald, that Notre Dame is named the Fighting Irishman?
Absolutely not. If anything, I think it's it's honorable. It's great. I love it.
Too many people get offended about nothing these days.
Yeah.
Coach Hutch, are you a descendant of the Vikings?
Yeah, I guess. I'm Dutch. So.
And where is that? That's in the northern.
Deutschland. Yeah, it's Northern Europe.
Where it's cold.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know family history back to 1200 is mostly Scottish, English, German, French, and Dutch.
1200?
Yes. My grandmother was
very
very
meticulous
with
the 1950.
The family tree. So we go back to Dunvegan Castle. Masons. We built the castle. So.
Wow. Built a castle.
Come a long way.
Man. I'm from the descendants of coal miners. Yep. Coach.
Place called Yonder, right? You're out there in Yonder.
We're in a holler.
You're in a holler going
how did your family get to Hopewell?
Okay. Well, my almost my dad and grandpa, the same story. My mom's dad, he's a Polak. He's from Masontown, West Virginia. That's a person of Polish descent. All right. He went to war. I don't know. He had a probably brother up here working at Hercules, and then he went to World War II and my grandma and him met and got married, and he went to war for 4 years.
Wow.
And then they wrote love letters and everything, and then he came back after war, never drove a car again, lived at 2207 Gordon Street, where my mom and my Uncle Tony, Sonny Boy, all the women in the Tri-Cities area know Sonny Boy because he looks like Cal Ripken with hair.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got eyes like a Siberian husky. He's got a permanent tan. All right, because my grandma, she was a bohunk. That means that she is of Bohemian and Hungarian descendants. They came here and they started Little Bohemia in Prince George County. All right. So my grandma and grandpa met each other at a function in Little Bohemia where my grandpa, Tony, was drunk, smashed, obliterated, and he got my grandma's number. And she couldn't believe that he remembered it. Yep. And let's see, my dad got here because when he was in 10th grade, he was hungry, didn't have any clothes, and decided to walk from Appalachia to Norton. All right, Coach Hutch, you know how far that is, and there's not even a 4-lane. You got to go over top of a railroad track bridge that's 100 feet in the air to get there. And he walked to Norton and said he wanted to sign up for the Marine Corps in 1955. And the guy said, well, come back in the morning, go get your stuff. And my dad said, what stuff? He said, I walked from Appalachia. All right. It's like 15 miles down a hill and up a hill. All right. You got to go through East Stone Gap, Big Stone Gap. Yeah. Angie Trigliani, whatever your name is, that wrote the book and the movie Big Stone Gap, was made about. Your book is not as nearly as interesting as what really occurred in Big Stone Gap in Appalachia.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fun fact, Afro Man has an arrest in Norton, Virginia.
Who's that?
Because he got high.
Afro Man, because I got high?
It's probably because he got high. He probably did something because he got high.
Yeah. By the way, if he ever plays, we were talking music earlier, he was one of the worst acts I've ever seen. Hands down.
Really?
Hands down.
Was that a Jam for Man?
That was at Jam for Man.
Have you ever heard of the story of the guy that went on the stage at Jam for Man and took the mic from the lead singer of some band that was nationally known and took the mic right from him and just took over Jam for Man?
It doesn't surprise me. There's some characters.
So that story was not trickling around UVA Wise, because you went to UVA Wise. You didn't go to Clinch Valley College.
Right. No.
You never heard of that.
They moved it when I was there. They had it two different places. They had it once up, I can't remember the name of the building, where there's like little fountains, like where the history building is.
There was a fountain?
Yeah.
You went to a school with a fountain.
Yeah, a little tiny fountain, but a fountain. And then they moved it to behind the football stadium. And the biggest act they had was a band called Evans Blue, who they actually got pretty big. They're a pretty good band, but it was interesting, like watching them play for, small college. And then all of a sudden I'm at home and I turn on the radio and I hear one of the songs I just heard like 2 weeks prior. So I thought that was pretty cool. We tried to get Garth Brooks, or no, not Garth, Kenny, $20,000 for 4 songs in 2008.
Kenny Chesney?
Kenny Chesney, 4 songs, $20,000.
You might have been able to get Garth Brooks's alter ego.
Yeah. We had
Urban.
We had an AC/DC cover band. Now, as somebody who has seen AC/DC live in the front row, I will say that this AC/DC cover band did a fantastic job. But the most interesting thing was the lead singer. When you think about the lead singers of AC/DC, you don't think gigantic human beings. Well, the lead singer of this AC/DC cover band was at least a 6'6", 400-pound African-American gentleman that could hit every single high note, and it was amazing.
Wow. That's impressive. It's like Milli Vanilli. Other than they didn't have fake guys.
Yeah. Well, now you don't even have to sing your songs to be famous. So Milli Vanilli is like,
they're trendsetters.
Ostracized for doing what everybody on TikTok is doing right now. People famous just for literally, lip syncing jokes and lip syncing music.
Coach Taylor, did you have any affiliation with that gentleman that got on stage? It seemed like you wanted to take that somewhere.
Not really. Not
really.
One time there were not cell phones. There were not camera phones. There were VHS tapes. I only knew one guy that had a VHS recorder, and there is a tape of the Boys that will be coming out. It will be put on YouTube. All right, it's better than the Jerky Boys. The Jerky Boys actually copied the Ulf Boys. All right, but it was just great. It was a great time period to be alive because we are the last generation that didn't have cameras everywhere. So things are kind of legendary, you know. History's different now. History now is recorded on YouTube, like we're doing now. But back in the day, like when my dad's dad, I wouldn't call him my grandpa, but my dad's dad, or he would probably say his brother's father, ran a taxi stand in Appalachia, Virginia. And this taxi stand also was a place they sold homebrew. If you don't know what homebrew is, it's like malt liquor. It's like very strong beer. Okay. Well, my uncle's dad, my grandfather, who I've never met because he was dead, he wouldn't go up into a holler unless to pick somebody up because he was almost like an Uber or a Lyft, unless he had to make a delivery of some homebrew. So there was a guy, and he lived in Stonegga, and he just got back from Vietnam, as he said. And my grandfather, he wanted to get a ride to Stonegga. So my grandfather took him, got him in the car, took him up to Stonegga, and he said, that'll be $5. And this was probably, in the 70s. And the guy goes, F you, old man. I'm a bad MFer that just got back from Vietnam. And that's when, supposedly, because there was a guy sitting next to my uncle's dad, pulled out a 38, turned around, knocked out the guy's 2 front teeth, and said, where I'll send you, there ain't no coming back. The guy goes, over $5, man, $5. That's where I come from. Yeah. My mom and dad were superstars, weren't they? Coach Bald. They were superstars. Somebody told me, well, Coach Taylor, you're a great storyteller. Well, you wouldn't even know me if it wasn't for a podcast. Because these stories are true, aren't they? Coach Hutch and Coach Bald. Coach Bald used to carry a mace. Coach Hutch, do you know what a mace is? Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about mace.
Yeah, I know mace. Yeah.
A ball on a chain. Where did you get the idea of getting a ball on a chain? And how did my dad take the ball and chain away from you?
I have no idea. I don't know why I got it. I think I went to the Bellwood flea market and, I was looking at some nunchucks. I was looking at some stars, and then I just saw something that looked like a little bit of both. And I said, well, this thing right here looks pretty legendary. Thank God I never hit anybody.
You got it from, dude. You got it from Chesterfield Town Center.
I think they based a South Park off of you, Coach Ball.
Is that right? I'm going to pull that up.
Go and get Ninja Stars.
Into cartoons. We could just make a cartoon out of me and my brother's life growing up in Courthouse Green. We could make a cartoon. We changed the names. It's South Park. But, dude, you remember the store in Chesterfield Town Center that used to sell the samurai swords? I don't know why anybody stole samurai swords, especially sharp ones. Like, what is the point?
Yeah, and they were all fake, I mean, historical, like if you're actually getting a real samurai sword or tanto or anything like that, like that's got some cool stuff for it. But most of these guys buying samurai swords, they're just recreations, and they're you can get somebody to sign it for you. Was it Randy Jackson?
Yeah. Who was the first guy ever to bring nunchucks to America on
Bruce Lee?
The big screen, yeah. Bruce Lee. They had never seen it before. Did you know that, Coach Hutch?
I had seen it, yeah, because it was Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. I've never seen a Bruce Lee movie, but I'm
Man,
a
it's
big
one of the
fan of
greatest
Bruce
movies
Lee.
of all time. One of the greatest movies of all time.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
We got our 2-week dead period, Coach Taylor. I'm going to give you a list of like 20 movies. That's what you're going to do during your downtime.
He's not good at following directions on movies because he still hasn't seen Vacation Friends yet.
I mean, there's a bunch of things that I haven't seen yet, dude. As soon as I sit down, I fall asleep.
You got to watch John Wick 1 and 2.
As soon as I sit down, I fall asleep. I go from
Stand
7
up.
a.m. to 3 p.m.
Stand up and watch.
3 p.m. to 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. to I might take a nap. Who takes a nap at 10:30 p.m. and then wakes up and stays up till about 4 a.m. and wakes up at 6 a.m. to come get on Totem Pole Nation Life Lessons podcast? Coach Bald.
So I got this for you, okay? This is the dad boss move, okay? If you're a father and you've got little kids, all right, this is the dad boss move, okay? Get them some crayons, get them something to write on and everything, and this is what you do. Say, look, we're gonna work on your artwork today. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lay down here, and you're gonna draw me. You're gonna draw me. That's how you get a nap in. You got your kids, they got the stuff, they got the paper. Be like, I'm going to sit really still. I'm going to act like I'm sleeping. Draw a great picture for me. Boom. That's how you get a nap in.
Coach Hutch, the podcast that you and your buddy were going to do. A lot of people have ideas. What is it Michael Jordan says? There's people that talk about it. There's people that think about it. There's people that talk about it. And there's people that make it happen. What was your podcast going to be about, Coach Hutch?
Pretty much classic rock and mixed martial arts. It's like pop culture.
Great combo.
Classic rock.
Yeah. My buddy is a classic rock guru. You could tell him, and you can name a band, name a year. He'll tell you every member of the band.
Okay.
Wow.
So
I want to know, text your buddy this. Leonard Skinner. Ask him, does he know how Leonard Skinner got their name? Do you think he knows it?
Oh, yeah. He 100% knows it.
Coach Bald.
I know.
You know how Leonard Skinner got their name. I know Coach Hutch does.
Yeah. I think I've heard the story, but it's been forgotten.
School teacher.
Yeah. They had hair like Coach Hutch. And the gym teacher, who was Coach Leonard Skinner, expelled them from school. All right, this was the day and age when coaches and teachers could expel kids from schools. Yeah, you're gone. Don't come back. And their parents didn't even complain. The parents agreed. And from that adversity, they changed the name of their band to Leonard Skinner. Who is the first person you ever remember, Coach Bald, who liked Leonard Skinner?
That would be Sean Leonard Skinner.
Yes.
Sean Leonard.
Sean Leonard.
Legendary teammate of ours who's doing big things. He's even doing music, I believe.
We got to get him on Totem Pole. We might even have to go to his next show.
Yeah, let's get him to do the anthem.
Yes. And
although Coach Hutch the other day sent us an anthem that I really thought was it was just mesmerizing. It was one of those that the words they just fall out just perfectly, man. That was some talent, man. We got some talent here at Totem Pole Nation for sure.
That was a little song that I thought everybody could enjoy.
Yeah. So I got to go to a meeting. Coach Hutch, you got to go work.
I got to go sit with
Bald
family life education. So that's a life lesson. Wrap it up and get tested.
There we go.
Ms. Newport was my family life teacher when I was in school. She gave me a detention in Coach Elena's class for laughing. All right.
The nurse that's teaching my family life was my nurse in family life, and has since 2012 been teaching family life to my students.
Yes.
And I graduated with her daughter too.
Impressive. Coach Hutch, would you like to shout out Cultivate Wellness?
Of course. Cultivate Wellness. Check them out, cultivatewellness.com. Make sure you get a chance to check out all their products. They got tons of new stuff coming out, but always go with the broad spectrum, the full spectrum, the isolate CBD. It is a neuroprotectant. It's great for anti-anxiety. It is great for pain and inflammation. Check them out, cultivatewellness.com. And Coach Bald, why don't you tell us about Saint Pete Rejuvenate? Y'all just had a big-time winner.
Yes, we did, man. We definitely did. We had Sarah Blake Cheek won, so we could not be more thrilled with that. Had her up in the office. We'll be seeing her, I believe, Saturday. Hopefully, I'll be able to get her to bring some of that moonshine too. I want to buy a couple bottles, and maybe we'll do another episode here on Totem Pole Nation, little taste test and everything. I still got some product from out in the sticks that we got a long time ago. Just been saving it. But yeah, big shout out to St. Pete Rejuvenate. Give us a phone call here. Check the website. You can text us. We're here for you. The ketamine infusions, it's a game changer when it comes to the depression, the PTSD, the chronic pain. Do your research, get your doctor's note, come check us out. This month, when you log on to the website, you can sign up to get free IV hydration, which is perfect this time of year because, you know, you want to be out in the sun, fun, have a good time, maybe have a few drinks. You know, maybe you're going to a wedding or, you know, maybe you're going to some kind of celebration. Don't feel terrible going to work that next day. Give us a holler and we'll take care of you. But besides that, anything else, any life lesson wise, Coach, you guys all good?
Well, the thing I put up there was the no answer is your answer. And you know who the answer is? AI.
The answer is Allen Iverson.
Bubba Chuck from 7'5" to the. I have an honorary 757 card. Thank you very much. The gangster. He used to come on. We need to get him on the show. My great friend. Anybody else got a life lesson? There he is. Man, he's the best. He is the best. Chuck, you will always be a legend in our eyes. The GOAT. I'll take Allen Iverson over anybody. I'd rather hang out with Allen Iverson than Michael Jordan or Kobe.
Amen.
Or LeBron. Why? Because he's from where we're from.
Amen, man.
What's your life lesson, Coach Hutch? Coach Bald?
My life lesson,
Go ahead, Coach Hutch.
I'm going to take it back to, you know, what my kids are learning about today. Take precautions, be prepared, and go for gold.
Amen, man.
Strive
Amen.
to be your best.
Yeah.
Coach Bald, what is your life lesson for today?
My life lesson is this, you know, rock bottom.
Oh,
Are we done?
No. You got muted in your life lesson. Life lesson, check the mute button. Now Troy's muted.
Mute button.
Good.
Everybody's muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we are the low men on the Totem Pole. Totem Pole Nation, thank you so much. For
I muted your
out.
mic, dude. Ugh. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Coach Ball, last words with your life lesson before we close it out.
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, rock bottom will teach you lessons that the mountaintop never will. You know, everybody thinks they're struggling, and then, you know, you think you got it bad, then all of a sudden you lose your job. Nothing's worse than losing your job, and then all of a sudden your kid gets in a car accident. Things get a little worse then, right? Nothing's worse than that until, who knows, maybe you lose a leg or something like that. So focus on what you got. You don't have it as bad as you think you do. It can always get worse, all right? So that's my life lesson. You know, just stay positive. You know, focus on the things you can focus on. And besides that, Totem Pole Nation, we love you guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. to the next episode.
See you, Totem Pole.